And let's take a big breath in and out. Big breath in. Arms straight over the head. Lock out those elbows. Make the whole body strong from your toes to your fingertips. Keep the ribs down in the front. Flex the glutes. Bump hips. Open up into cactus arms. Scoop the elbows forward. Other side. Cactus arms and scoop. Feel those shoulder blades moving. Back to the middle. Let's look back. Arms out, cactus arms. Scoop up. Forward fold here. Let's just hang down for a moment. And I'm going to swivel side to side here. I'm going to widen my stance and come down into my squat. Let's hang out here for a moment and just settle into this position and get grounded. Chest up, small circles over the feet and ankles, one direction and then the other, feeling the toes on the earth. I'm going to put a forearm on the inside of this knee and just push out, really holding it there, not just going through the motions, but feeling the hip joint being asked to open up a little bit more. 5 times, 5 pulses, and we'll go to the other side. Hand on ankle, and open up the body, pointing that hand all the way to the ceiling 5 times. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the middle. I'm going to press my hands together here, chest up. And I'm just going to lean forward with my chest while keeping my hips almost in the same place, prying those hips a little bit more open. Very good. Let's come here, put the hands on the ground and hop side to side. Coming back into a full squat every time. And then let's lift up the straight arms. Pinkies spiraled in. Feeling those shoulder blades travel down the back as you lift up your arms. And then I'm going to come over to my tabletop position, fingers pointed backwards. Hips are sagging down right now, but I'm going to lift them up. Keeping those front ribs down, glutes flexed. Let's come through here again. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to lean my knees over my feet now. Feel that stretch in the biceps, the chest. Then walk the hands forward. Let's drop the knees all the way down to the ground. And I'm going to tuck the tailbone again here, flex the glutes and lift up. elongating the front of my body without putting too much pressure on my lower back, which would happen if I didn't flex my glutes. Then it would all be on my lower back. I'll lift up here. And walk on back. Let's come around to our quadruped position here on our hands and knees. I'm going to spiral the elbows back towards my thighs in that good shoulder blade position. And then I'm going to go into my cat, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, cow, back and forth. Five times. And I'm just going to pause in this position, spiraling those elbows back. I'm going to move my weight forward over my hands and feel that wrist flexion going into more than 90 degrees as my center of mass moves forward. And even as I deepen the flexion of my wrists, I'm pushing into the ground with my palms, especially the part of my palms at the base of my fingers, pushing in. Very good. Let's come into our child's pose here. I'm going to slowly form the body, straightening the arms, spiraling the elbows in, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, tuck the tailbone, belly button to spine. And roll up into an up dog and push into a down dog. Let's repeat this 5 times. And the last time, yeah, let's come from here and we're gonna come onto the, onto our, sit in our heels. There's some extra stretches I wanna do today. I'm trying to make sure I do them at the right moment. But let's just come like normal into our heels, sitting onto our heels right now. Let's swivel side to side. Let's move the ribs side to side, sliding them across, and then making a 2-dimensional circle, leading with our sternum in one direction, caving in the chest, and then pushing it out, and then the other direction. Just rotate the neck to try to mindfully relax. I'm gonna grab my overhead stretching assister here and begin with 10 easy overhead rotations. Remember, it can be hard to feel, especially first thing in the morning, but we wanna feel the shoulder blades moving in different axes, on different axes, sliding up here at the top, rolling over on the top here, and then coming into a scooped position when the stick is behind our head. Sliding up, so just visualize those shoulder blades sliding up and down the back and tilting in different directions. Let's go ahead and go all the way down to the hips now. Keep those arms straight. Ten times. I'm on number 5 right now. And after the 10th time, we can pause behind the head and swivel side to side once more. 10 times on each side. I'm going to put that to the side. Come down and sit. I'm going to put my feet in front of me right here. And I'm just going to start gently swiveling side to side. Take the hands off the ground. Keep the weight forward. Bring both knees to the ground with every turn. And then I'm going to begin to come up into this 90-90 squat position, or figure 4 squat, I think it's called. Heard it called a shin box squat too. Remember, when you're lifting up, you don't want to just get up by anyhow. You want to lift up, flexing your glutes and keeping your ribs down with firm abs. It's all about strengthening your core muscles. You have control in your kicks and in your inversions. Good. And then we're going to come here and we're going to come into this hurdle stretch position. So it's kind of like a 90-90, except this one leg is straight. I'm going to lift this leg up so the knee's pointing up. I'm going to shift my weight forward and switch to the other side. We're going to do the same thing over here. Try to use your hand as little as possible for assistance. Definitely okay to use it. And let's just begin to go into some ordinary Cossack squats here. One foot is flat, other toe goes up to the ceiling. Can keep my weight forward to counterbalance, or I can bring my weight more back for a different kind of a challenge. 10 times on each side. And after I've done my 10, I'm gonna lunge to the side here. Let's start by putting the back knee on the ground. Okay. And I'm gonna lift up my chest like this. And this stretch is all about getting the details right, rather than pressing down. That can happen, but first we want to square off the hips and this back foot. It's been a while since we did this one on a regular basis. The toe is going to push into the ground. So if I square off my hips, push that toe into the ground and then flex my glute here, should already be able to feel a nice stretch on this hip flexor. And then I can lean forward a little bit. And once all of that is securely in place, I can also lift up my arm here to elongate that side. Really got to keep the hips squared. Nice. Let's now bring this back knee off the ground. And I'm going to come down here and put my elbows on or near the ground if I can. I'm going to lower the knee to the ground and flex and push it out. Straighten that leg. Push the heel back. We'll do that 5 times. Okay. And then I'm going to switch over to the other side and repeat the 2 stretches. Right here, I'm going to push my pinky toe into the ground, square off the hips, right? Flex the glute. And then once that's in place, then I can lean forward a little bit. This knee moving forward over the toe. Lift up this arm. Square off those hips. Got to keep on pushing this hip back and this one forward to get them square. To take my knee off the ground and get those elbows onto the ground now. And then I'm going to pulse, straighten the leg, push through the heel 5 times. Nice. On the fifth time, I'm going to switch around to the other side. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my front foot off of my mat. And my back foot is still on the mat, but it's edging towards the back just to measure my distance. Okay? Like this. And I'm going to lift up my chest, keep the hips square, and just hold this position for 30 seconds. I'm going to try to push out through my back heel and straighten that back leg as much as I can. So whether you have a bigger or a narrower stance than me, make sure you're feeling that stretch here. It should be a muscular position. Keep the ribs down. Try not to bend the lower back. And good. That's 30 seconds. We can go to the other side. I'm just going to switch my feet here so I can maintain the same distance, not have to readjust everything. Big overly wide stance here. Chest up, push through the back heel, square off the hips, another 30 seconds. Good, notice even here, you can constantly correct yourself with squaring off the hips, flexing this back glute, and trying to extend the back leg more, straighten it more, pushing through that heel. And there's your 30 seconds. Let me bring that together. Let's roll up our mats. And get into our Meia Lua de Compassos. Yeah, good morning, Granji, Lu. Good to see y'all here today. Jabiru, excellent. I hope you're doing okay this morning. I'm glad you made it into class. That's awesome. Let's keep up the good work of taking care of ourselves and our bodies, keeping it moving, whatever is happening in our lives in the world. It takes a lot of self-discipline to continue training all the time. For me, it's a really essential part of my life, and it seems to be for you guys too, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna get out a target for myself here. And let's just begin to Jenga in front of our target. And we're just gonna observe distance from the target to start off. We're gonna try to maintain that constant distance of about one leg length away. Remembering that should we accidentally or intentionally come inside that space, we wanna be lower in general, and we wanna protect our face with our hands. And if we're outside of that space, can't reach the target from here, that simply means that we need to be aware that I can't affect the target from over here. It's unrelated space. So for our Jenga exercise, it's not that any of those distances are wrong in Capoeira, they just imply different things. For our Jenga exercise right now, we're going to try to maintain the one leg length distance. Now let's just get into our Jenga. And remember that big base we just practiced in the last stretch? We're not going that big here, but we are seeing that it's possible to have maybe a wider and deeper base than we're used to. Let's keep those arms up, protecting the face. Remember that being ready to protect yourself sometimes looks different than ready to protect yourself. So it's not about looking strong or rigid all the time. I think you all know that. But it is about having an effective protection if something comes flying towards your face. So let's widen that base a little bit more. Widen and deepen. We can introduce some of the other Jenga variations we work on now. Hopping is one. Fuga is another. Right here. Observe what's happening to the distance. Observe what's happening to the face and body protection that your arms are providing. Another one is lean back. We're gonna do that at pace. Yet another is a negasa, low negasa. We're gonna add that into. Let's mix them all up now. So you can freestyle on your own. Let's say you're trying to go all the way around your target using your Jingo movements, and make a mental note every time you re-attain the one leg length distance, because even when you're not kicking, that's a clue about when a kick would be possible. So I fuga, out, ding, I'm back in space. Lean back, back in. Hopping, same thing. Jenga, negasa. You can do some of the fake kick turns that we have been working on, as long as you protect your face when you move around. I'm gonna put another 90 seconds on the clock for just Jenga, and then we're gonna be doing pure kicks for the rest of the time. Let's find that flow first of all. Get a little lower. Remember, when you come closer to the target, you want to go down low. Protect yourself from takedowns. Free it up, free up the upper body. Use the arms intentionally, but also look to be relaxed. Good. Good work, everybody. That is your minute and a half. Let's take a breath. Okay, so you're in your Jenga and you find yourself right here. Let's just practice the Meia Lua de Compasso with no step entrance. We're just gonna be in a Jenga position, and I'm about a leg length from the target, so I know I'm on the right distance. On Monday, we practiced lifting our leg around 2 targets in an infinite circle. This is actually kind of easier. We're only gonna go over 1 target. So we'll do a slow one together. I'm in my Jenga position. First thing that happens is my feet turn and my weight goes forward. So I'm not just like this. I have to keep my weight forward and turn here. It's almost like I'm going into a pivot hole. Instead of going into a negativa, put my hands down here, framing the foot, and I'm gonna lift the back leg and slide it up in a parabola over the target, and I come back to Jenga position. We talked about different ways to end a kick. You can end it on the toes. You can, if you're kicking fast and strong, you can have a flat foot here with the toe at this angle and the hip slightly open. When we're doing it slow, I think it makes sense to end on the toe like we're used to. Later on, when it's fast, you might try the flat foot variation. So without an entrance, I'm just gonna go straight from the Jenga, pivot, weight forward, lift the back leg, and come around. Switch to the other side. Notice that my gaze right here is always gonna be under the arm. So watch out for this, right? Samudra, we've talked about this. This is kind of like something that happens especially in the beginning when you're learning this kick, but actually can happen all the time if you forget. Your face shouldn't be exposed out here. This also messes up the geometry of the kick. You wanna be here. Other side. Pivot, hands on the ground. Finish to the back. Hands go on the ground once. Palms are flat, and you can push off the ground. The kicking leg should be at its apex, completely parallel to the ground. If my target is lower, I get lower by bending my knee and my arms. I don't want to do this ever. I don't want to put my toe towards the ground ever. Toe is going to be towards the wall. Hips will open up. Finish the kick. Any questions about those details, which we'll repeat a million times, please let me know. If my target is a person, I'm going to go in a parabola over their body or an arc, let's say, trace their shape. A little bit faster now with a little bit of flow. Pretty much still on the slow side. Notice that I can drop straight into the kick here. I don't have to go back and forward. Go straight from Jenga into the kick. Here, rather than moving back to set up, you just go straight now. Okay, let's go at pace now. The speed is gonna be about a 3 out of 5. We're just gonna lob these kicks over. Continue, we have another minute of just kicking like that. We see everybody at work, see if I can offer any comments. Good, Vagalumi. Keep that weight forward when you finish your kick, just like we talked about. You're gonna bend the front knee a little bit more when you land it. Yeah, there you go. Make sure you have the correct hand up when you land. It's gonna be Jenga position. There you go, Garanji, nice. Very good. Way to get the leg up just at the moment where it needs to be. Nice trajectory to the kick, I like it. Silu, very nice. Good, Samudra. Good, Samudra, try to put your hands on the ground just one time. Flat palms, the whole palm on the ground, not fingertips. That way you're not walking around the kick gingerly. It's pushing off with power. Good, Loba. Nice, Loba. Good job. Yeah. There you go, Jabiru. Yeah, good, Jabiru. I want to see if you can put some oil up the entrance so that there's not a lot of waiting in the beginning. You can go straight from Ginga into that kick. It's hard to imagine. There you go. That looks better. Yeah, the kick was faster too. So I'm looking at the relative speed of putting your hands down to the kick. Let's speed up that part a little bit. You just drop straight in. There you go. That was really nice. Yep. Okay. There's our minute of doing just the kick with no entrance. I want to now go into doing 2 kicks in a row. So I intentionally started without the entrada because we know that we can enter the kick like 1, 2, but let's just do it from this Ginga position because when we do 2 kicks in a row, it's just gonna, there's no resetting. We go straight into the next kick. So I'm in Ginga position, drop the hands down, I do a second kick and I should end exactly where I started. Weight forward. I should have my weight so much forward in this leg that I could just lean forward and pick my back leg up. Notice that I do not stand up in between the 2 kicks, or I shouldn't. I'm here, Ginga position. I don't stand up here and then go back down. I want to have it that I stay low, and the entrance into the next kick is just a hip bump forward. So I do 1, 2. Head stays low the whole time. I'm protecting my face with my shoulders, chin to chest, okay? Let's give it a try. Doesn't have to be fast, but it's got to be smooth from one kick to the next. Yes, and the other thing is, some of you will notice that this happens. If I do multiple kicks, I start moving around the target. Almost universally, the reason for that is that you're putting your heel down on the front foot and you start heel toeing like this the whole time. And then you start doing like this, and then you start going like here and stuff like that. But it's not a dance contest. It's capoeira practice. Thank you. That was my turf walk. Okay, let's go. We're gonna come here, 2. 1 Ginga step immediately, 2 on the other side. Okay. Reach with that leg. I'm gonna put another minute and change on the clock for this and see if I can make any comments. Good, Samudra. So you got to put more of a twist into your hips. I know what can help. Position, good. Big improvements. Samudra, put your hands closer to your front foot on the ground. Let's go through it step by step. Put your foot, yeah. Yes, now look between your arms, not over your shoulder. And you should be able to turn your arms so you can look at your target. But go back to that starting position. That was good, but go back to the starting position. Put your right hand behind your heel. Yeah. Twist your head around in between your arms. Look at me, look at the screen in between, not over your shoulder, underneath your arm. Yeah, so you have to put your left hand further out. That's more how you want it to be. Look at how it looks when I start my kick. I'm here and I can look straight ahead like this. Can you see that? I'm not like this and I'm not like this. I'm twisting all the way. It's that twist that's gonna put the power in your kick. Good, everybody, let's see. There you go, Lou, way to stay down. Yes, Vagalumi.
I have I keep trying to be lighter on the ball of my standing foot because it doesn't like, I feel really heavy and the turns are really hard to.
This is a today problem or in general problem? I'm guessing in general you're saying.
It's harder when I'm doing 2 in a row.
Okay, good. Well, that makes sense. I mean, the second one is going to amplify any little issues that change. I will tell you, for me, I think here's what I think the issue could be. If you're lifting up the heel without changing the weight distribution of your whole body, it takes a lot more effort to spin. But if I can get my weight completely off the back foot and bend this knee and be strong in this standing leg, it creates more torque on the ground. I just want to make sure that pressure to turn is on the ground underneath my foot and not on my knee or something like that. Good, Hafa. I can see you trying to stay low. So I guess it's that I notice a lot that when I'm watching you, Vagalumi, that your weight, like we talked about, keeping it forward is a little bit of a challenge, like keeping it on one foot. But if you can think about really keeping it on this front foot and making this front leg really strong, I think it's gonna help you. Yeah, make it a stronger movement. Okay, let's take a breath. Good work, everybody. So let's look at a variation of the Meia Lua de Compasso called Meia Lua Enganosa. It has, or sorry, that's for tomorrow. Meia Lua Solta, a jumping Meia Lua, only has one hand on the ground. So it's gonna look like this, all right? One Jenga step. Like if your challenge is keeping your weight forward on your foot, it's gonna be even harder with this one. If I'm kicking with my right leg, it's my left hand that touches the ground. And I gotta torque those hips and come around and end to the back. One side and then the other. If Meia Lua Solta is not new to you, we're gonna do alternating without any Jenga step. In the middle, I'm gonna go like this. Meia Lua Solta can be a higher kick. And I can end at an angle right here and step right into my next one. Your choice what you need to practice. I don't recommend doing the back and forth version if you're still having trouble just entering it from a Jenga. Or if you're still learning, let's put it that way. So let's see, Hafa, which hand is gonna go down if you're kicking, say, with your left leg. There you go, beautiful. Try to end low, right? We're not gonna end in a fighting stance, we're gonna end in this low Jenga stance. Do 2 in a row on this one also. Same things, same principles apply. You have less help from your hands. All right, one more minute of that. And then we'll pause for the day. There you go, Samudra, keep your eyes on the target. Nice, Rocky. Can you go straight into the other one? One side, the other. No Jenga step. Ooh. Step back. Yeah, there you go. Sick. There you go, Garanji. Back and forth. Still try to land in a, yeah, there you got it. Wide base, I was gonna say. Even if you're going back and forth, you can land in a wide base and low. 30 more seconds of kicks. Let's do it. Freestyle. Let the wheels come off the bus now. Speed it up. And take a breath. We are all out of time. Isn't that fun? Just to kick the crap out of something. Let's have good movement in our Zinga. Let's have beautiful controlled movements. Let's also have good kicks. So we're not like a basketball player who can dribble really well, but can't take a shot. Yeah, get hit. Any comments or questions about the kicks today?
My wheels fell off the bus.
Yeah, so did mine. That's what we asked for, right? Good. But your wheels didn't start, they started firmly bolted on. So bye, Hapa. Take care of yourselves today. We'll look at this kick in combination with Hole tomorrow morning for Hole conditioning. Peace, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Samudra. Bye, Jabiru.